Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
North Dakota teachers will no longer be using Common Core as their basis for education standards. Good evening and thank you for joining us. State Superintendent Kirsten Baszler announced today state educators will begin rewriting English and math content this summer. A draft will then be looked at by 3 review committees this fall. Baszler says her main priority is to make sure students have the best set of standards available.
We are writing a superior set of math and English content standards for our North Dakota public schools that establish clear and high expectations for North Dakota students and raise our status as a state with a world-class education system.
Applications for the committees will be posted to the Department of Public Instruction's website on Friday. The application deadline is June 1st. Baszler says the new standards will be adopted in 2017. Andrew Sadek's parents plan to file a wrongful death lawsuit against the Richland County Sheriff's Office and Deputy Sheriff Jason Weber. The Sadek's attorney says Weber was the person who recruited Andrew to be a criminal informant. This comes weeks after the family asked the Minnesota BCA to step aside and allow the FBI and Department of Justice to take over the investigation. Andrew Sadek's body was pulled from the Red River near Breckenridge, Minnesota, almost 2 years ago. The Sadek family says they want answers, and their son's death investigation is going nowhere. The lawsuit has not been filed yet. The number keeps climbing. We continue to see an increase in power outages in the area. We've had so many you may have lost count, but in just 2 weeks we have experienced 6 power outages, leaving frustrated customers in the dark. So we spoke with the North Dakota Public Service Commission about the issue.
Fargo is our largest community. XL Energy is our largest utility, and this is just not acceptable to have this many outages for this duration of time.
Tonight on Valley News Live at 6, how customers could be compensated for the power outages and what XL Energy is doing to fix the problems. It's dry and windy out there, and that's elevating the fire danger in the area. Here's Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson with tonight's forecast. Hutch?
Andrea, thanks so much. We have had gusts here in the Red River Valley over 40, even over 50 miles per hour in the Grand Forks area. That combined with the dry vegetation as well as the dry air elevating that fire risk throughout the valley and western and portions of central Minnesota. So please be cautious with any burning. And in fact, if you're going to light the barbecue tonight, be careful. Winds will continue to be gusty. Temperatures are warmest to the south near 70, but cooler mid-60s to the north and to the east as cool north winds continue to usher in drier and cooler air. 50s for most of our evening, but the gusty nature of the wind you see there at about 10 o'clock starts to subside. That's good news. It does look like we get right back to quieter weather as we head into the day tomorrow. I'll have details on when our next chance of significant rain will be here across the valley in a moment and have a look ahead towards Mother's Day weekend.
All right, thank you, Hutch. To some new developments now. The Catholic Church says claims that Father Joseph Jayapal has been reinstated to the ministry in India are false. Jayapal was convicted of sexual abuse at his church in Greenbush, served prison time, and returned to his native country of India. In a letter to parishioners after talking with the bishop in charge of Father Jayapal in India, Bishop Michael Hepner of Crookston says in part have been assured that he ordered that Father Jayapal have no ministry in parishes, no ministry with minors. He has directed Father Jayapal to live in a home for retired clergy. At no time after he served his time in jail and returned to India has Father Jayapal been assigned to a public ministry. A defiant Crookston pot smoker tells officers that he will not stop selling marijuana. 19-year-old Nathan Black of Crookston faces 1 count of 5th-degree sale of a controlled substance and 1 count of 5th-degree possession of a controlled substance. Each carries a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison. Valley News Team's Neil Carlson shows us more regarding this unusual drug bust in Polk County.
Last month, a trooper pulled over Nathan Black in Crookston on suspicion of texting while driving. The trooper smelled marijuana coming from the car and found just over an ounce of it, along with 2 measuring scales, a marijuana grinder, and $1,500 cash in Black's car.
That's when Nathan Black was hauled off to jail.
where in a statement to officers he made it very clear about his preference for pot. Black told officers that he smokes it 3 times a day, and he pays $200 to $300 an ounce to a source that meets him at the halfway mark from Bemidji. Black also stated to officers that he would never wind up in more trouble by selling to a confidential informant because he has a tight group of friends. And during that interview, an officer told him to stop selling marijuana. According to court documents, Nathan Black replied, no. In Crookston, Neil Carlson, Valley News Live.
Black's telephone also had multiple text messages on it that referenced drug sales, such as wondering if you've got anything left. Nathan Black has applied for a court-appointed attorney. Police continue to search for a man who stole a vehicle, fled from police, and then crashed another vehicle into someone's backyard. The homeowner tells us she heard the crash and looked out her window to see the driver climbing over her fence and running away from the car. She then told her husband the news.
My wife called me and said that there was a loud crash in the backyard, and so she said there happened to be a car that drove through our fence, and then the car is still in the backyard. So I didn't believe her at first.
It happened on the 1800 block of 26th and a half Court South about 9 this morning. Police believe they know who they're looking for but haven't arrested him yet. Investigators say the incident started with a report of a stolen motorcycle on the 2400 block of 18th Street South. When officers arrived and spotted the alleged thief, he ditched the bike, ran to a car, and drove away at high speeds. Officers did not chase the car because it was in a neighborhood. A level 3 sex offender who caused a community uproar 2 years ago is moving back to Moorhead. Moorhead police say Eric Fanning will be moving to the area on May 10th. That's when he's set to be released from the Lino Lakes Correctional Facility. Police say Fanning has a history of sexual conduct and contact with adult female victims, including indecent exposure and penetration. Fanning will be living in the 900 block of 14th Street. When he first moved to Moorhead in 2014, dozens of people showed up at a community notification meeting held by police. Moorhead police say they are not planning a public meeting this time around. And remember to like Valley News Live on Facebook. You can follow the latest news, weather, and breaking news updates anytime on your feed. Just search Valley News Live, like our page, and you'll stay informed throughout the entire day. While city crews are cleaning up piles of unwanted items on the curbs, many people are pulling things off the curbs, hoping to fix them up. Items like old dressers or chairs could simply need a new coat of paint to be refurbished. Chalk paint can go over many surfaces and dries fast. But a warning to those taking things off the curb. Be sure to smell the items because scents like musty basement won't go away.
You know, before you grab that piece or buy that piece, always consider what is it going to take? Do you have the time? Do you have the resources that you need to make it what you want it? Of course, it's always fun and Pinterest makes it look easy, but you got to consider too, is it worth picking up?
We have more ideas online. Just go to valleynewslive.com and click on the Valley Today tab. With summer just around the corner, there are some children in our communities who may not be getting enough to eat. That's because they qualify for reduced-priced meals through the school system September through May. But when school is over, so are those meals. But some help to keep those healthy lunches flowing to children looks to be on the way. The United Way and John Deere Electronic Solutions are teaming up to do just that. The farm equipment manufacturer is contributing $75,000 through its foundation. Of that, $25,000 is aimed specifically for the summer lunches. It's called the Backpack Program.
They can get those lunches during the school year. In the summer, there's a gap, and we wanted to help fill that gap. We do that because we also understand that nutrition is a key part of success in school, and we certainly want to have all the children be successful in their academic pursuits.
The United Way says more than 9,000 children in Cass and Clay counties qualify for the free or reduced lunch program. As for the other $50,000 of this grant, it goes to help fill a funding gap for childcare for low-income families. You are looking at the new Fargo Public Schools 2016 Teacher of the Year. Ed Clapp Elementary teacher Jennifer Kawanson was awarded the honor today in front of students, staff, and invited guests. She is described as an excellent communicator who creates a nurturing environment for students. She began teaching for Fargo Public Schools in 1994.